On the news, bandits abduct 22 in Kaduna communities. Obasa denies corruption allegation, says he remains Lagos Assembly Speaker. And Tinubu to attend Energy Summit in Tanzania. It's a pleasure to have you join News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Joy Uchejim. We start off in Kaduna State, where bandits have reportedly abducted 22 locals in fresh separate attacks in Kauru local government area of the state. According to reports, the assailants invaded the two communities in separate attacks on Friday at about 10:30 p.m., kidnapping 22 locals, mostly women and children. 12 locals were reportedly kidnapped in the Kitanda community, while 10 locals were also whisked away in Kugauta community. Residents have reportedly lamented that despite the escalating kidnapping by bandits and other criminal elements in their communities, only 3 policemen were manning their community and neighboring villages. And operatives of the Imo State Police Command have burst a terrorist hideout in Okigwe local government area and killed 6 members. The gang was alleged to be the masterminds behind the attack on the correctional center in Owerri, the murder of 5 policemen, the burning of Arondiziogu police station, and several kidnaps within Imo State. Force Public Relations Officer Olumiyiwa Dejobi disclosed this in a statement shared via the Force Facebook page on Saturday. Adejobi said on January 24, 2025, operatives from the command's tactical unit, following credible intelligence, launched a coordinated operation aimed at locating and dislodging the terrorist hideout and swooped on the suspects. And in a prompt response to unabating insecurity in Anambra State, southeast Nigeria, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has set up a joint security operation in the state known as Udogachi, meaning peace must reign. The governor, who declared war on criminal elements, promised a 5 million naira reward to anyone with concrete information that might help apprehend criminals terrorizing the state. Soludo also signed the new Anambra Homeland Security Law 2025 and unveiled a new vigilante outfit known as Agune Chamber, with a combined team of over 2,000 personnel to end insecurity in the state. TV360's correspondent Sidney Okafor completes the story.
The Anambra Homeland Security Law 2025 is the state government's response to the spate of insecurity ravaging the southeast state. Anambra State has witnessed unprecedented level of violence stemming from banditry, kidnap for ransom, and wanton killings by supposedly unknown gunmen. As part of the new law, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has now launched Operation Udogachi, involving various security agencies to help end criminal activities in the state. He has also unveiled a 2,000-strong vigilante group known as Agune Chamber to help provide security in the state. Shedding more light on this move, the Anambra Commissioner of Information says the state governor is intentional about tackling insecurity head-on.
Agune Chamber is the name the law has given the Anambra Vigilante Group. Soludo never dropped the ball where it came to insecurity, even before the launching of Operation Udogachi, because he created Homeland Ministry. He created a 250-man strike force that operated before now. So the new law, Anambra Homeland Security 2025, is what has given the Anambra Vigilante Group the name Agune Chamber. So the way you have a Motekun in southwest Nigeria is the way you have the Agune Chamber now in Anambra State.
The new law also requires President General of various communities in the state to keep watch over the communities and report any security breach there. Landlords and hotel owners are also required to collect data of their tenants and guests and send same to the government. The law also discourages the practice of traditional rituals for money, which is common in the state.
Because 50% of the Anambra don't live in Anambra. So if you build and you are living in the US, Abuja, Lagos, or Kano, or wherever, you need to know your house. Because if a kidnapper is traced to your house, it will be brought down. So the Anambra need to take this aspect of the law seriously. Because you may not know what is going on in your house, so you need to find out. Let them take a look. Constantly, they must go check your house out. Know what is going on in your house. You need to know those who are living in your house. Otherwise, you may lose your building.
Anambra State is the latest among Southeast states to launch its security initiative to end insecurity in the southeast region of the country. Analysts, however, say there is need for synergy among Southeast governors to fight insecurity in the region.
The problem with Southeast is not only about Anambra. There should be a synergy between the 5 Southeasterners or Eastern states. One cannot be isolated because you discover that some of this mayhem is sometimes interstate. So people can come from one state, cause havoc in another state, and then run back. The most critical thing that the Southeast should do is not about isolating Anambra. Is trying to have a synergy, a coordinated attempt, a network, whereby you cannot infiltrate to any state, operate and go scot-free.
Anambra State is counting on the new security law and the new vigilante group, Agune Chamber, to end insecurity in the state. The citizens are hoping the initiative delivers and brings lasting peace. Sydney Okafo, TV 360, Lagos.
And the impeached Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, has described the corruption allegations against him as fictitious and unsubstantiated. Speaking during a welcome rally at his residence in GRA Ikeja on Saturday, Obasa maintained that he was not afraid of being impeached, but emphasized that due process was not followed. The former speaker alleged that his removal was orchestrated while he was away and accused the State Commissioner of Police of aiding the process. He claimed security agents led by the police commissioner invaded the assembly complex and his homes in Agege and Ikeja, locking his family indoors.
He who allege must do what? Let them prove. If I'm not carrying the members along, that is secondary. It's secondary. So we will discuss that, not now. At my own time, when everything has been addressed, I'll come back to you and I'll explain everything. We have documents to support whatever expedition we have incurred in the Lagos State House of Assembly. And if any other person believes contrarily, let them bring their own document. So we will compare document to document. Simple. Having ambition to become a governor is not a sin, is it? However, I've said it on the floor of the House when the budget was presented that I had no thought of governorship. But that does not mean what? That I'm not qualified or I lack experience. So, and I still maintain that position. But in the whole of Lagos State, let any leader, anybody come out to explain that Obasa approached me and he says that he wants to become a governor. It's as simple as that. So as you can see me, I'm lively, I continue to enjoy myself, I'm not disturbed, I'm not perturbed, and I'm not worried. So being speaker, but to remove, you must follow the due process as I have said. We have rules, we have constitution. When you want to remove, you must do what? Follow it. At the same time, that man that said Obasa took part in the removal of Honorable Abdulwahid Pelumi, Honorable Funmi Tejuosho, and those people that were suspended. And I've said it, let me repeat it. Honorable Pelumi, right, Honorable Pelumi is my brother, is my friend. I fondly call him Boda Wahidi till tomorrow. When he was removed, he was on the floor of the House. Probably he was presiding. When Tejo was removed, she was in the house. And those who were suspended, they were around. And there was no involvement of police. And the house, the chamber was not broken into. And fake mace was not brought to the house. I'm not afraid of being removed. If you are a member of the house for 20-something, and you are speaker for almost 10 years, me, I'm not disturbed, but let them follow the true procedure. I believe strongly I'm still the speaker. Yes? You want to ask a question? I'm still the speaker until the right thing has been done. If you want to remove me in the proper way. I will not contest it. Wallahi, I won't contest it. You know, we Muslim, I'm a Muslim. We say if anything happens, you know the lie. Why you know the lie, Roju? I don't know what to say. But let us do it in the way it should be done.
Moving on, President Bola Tinubu will travel to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania on Sunday, January 26, to participate in the Africa Heads of State Energy Summit, scheduled for January 27 to 28, 2025. In a statement issued by Bayo Ononuga, the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, the summit, hosted by the Tanzanian government in collaboration with the African Development Bank Group and the World Bank, seeks to advance Mission 300, an ambitious initiative aimed at providing electricity to 300 million people across Africa by 2030. The summit will bring together African leaders, private sector stakeholders, development partners, and civil society organizations to discuss and strategize around the continent's pressing energy challenges. And President Bola Tinubu has commended the intervention of Finland government with the arrest and detention of Simon Ekpa, saying his administration will not tolerate actions and statements that could lead to divisiveness among citizens. President Tinubu spoke when he received the letters of credence from the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Sanna Selin, at the State House. In response, Finland's ambassador extolled President Tinubu for his courage in initiating reforms that will benefit the economy and ensure prosperity in the future. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, speaking to journalists after the meeting, says Nigeria is looking forward to strengthening bilateral ties with Finland in order to enhance the diversification of the nation's economy.
Nigeria has continued to forge very strong ties, not just at the bilateral level, at the multilateral level. We continue to work together to foster an era for Nigeria, certainly, of economic prosperity in a rapidly changing world and with rapidly changing dynamics. Nigeria continues to lead, especially in Africa, in fostering peace and security. And in this guise, we always seek the support and collaboration of the European Union. Of course, with Finland, luckily the ambassador that presented her letters of credence is very well versed in the area of trade. So we will be seeking also to strengthen our trade relations. We will be looking for new areas of collaboration. Of course, as you know, Nigeria is seeking a diversification of the economy, migrating from the oil sector to areas of agriculture, agro-allied products and agro-processing, the digital economy, renewable energy. These are areas that we can benefit substantially from the experience of Finland.
And the national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, has called on the party supporters to shun divisive politics, as doing so would determine the success or failure of the party. Abure, who spoke in Abuja, says all aggrieved parties should get over the past, as there are consequences in disloyalty and indiscipline. He added that the importance of unity as an indivisible group cannot be overemphasized if the party is to remain relevant in the scheme of things. Abure further said no party is immune to internal wrangling, adding that a sense of patriotism puts them on a higher pedestal.
All those who may have one grievances or the other against the leadership of the party is an opportunity for all of us to come together, reconcile our differences, and chart a way forward for the party. And so for me, I'm open for reconciliation. I've said so clearly, and then the party is going to take further measures to see that we bring every person within the party for us to discuss and chart a way forward for the party. I believe that the interest of Nigeria, the interest of the party it supersedes every other interest, and that is how I see it. So it's my appeal to all those who may be aggrieved one way or the other to come back to the party, and we can jointly work together in the interest of Nigeria and in the interest of our party. Yes, I'm sure that very soon all our differences will be put aside, and we again speak authoritatively in one voice and come out strong and very effective in the political space. There's no political party without differences. Of course, it's a game of interest, and we always have conflicting interests in every political environment. So I believe that we come out better, we come out stronger. Now we have seen our strengths, we have seen our weaknesses, and I'm sure that all of this put together will be shaping the party and make the party to be stronger and will perform better in future elections.
And in a bid to enhance water transportation and aid in the socio-economic growth of the state, the Lagos state government has announced plans to commission 10 additional ferries to join the 15 that are already in operation, making it a total of 25 ferries. Speaking at the Joint Citizens Media Engagement Forum in Alausa, Ikeja, the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Bengal Motosho, highlighted the significance of the new ferries, which were built locally by young Nigerian engineers. Also, Motosho revealed that the state government is currently building a 280-bed Ojo General Hospital, which, when completed, will be the first hospital constructed in decades.
In Lagos, we've been able to bring together 3 modes of transportation. If we want to go by rail today, from Agbado all the way to Igwengi of the mainland, the journey that used to cost about 3 hours of bumping, 3 hours of sweating, 3 hours of groaning. Today, it's just about 35 minutes of a smooth ride, air-conditioned ride, and joyous ride. And if you want to go by water, as I have said, from Ikorodu to the island, it can take about 35 minutes. So many routes have been opened on the waterway, and so many jetties have been built. As of the last time, about 16 of them were ready for commissioning. In Ibeche, in Ilashe, so many places, in Liverpool. So for us, and you have also seen the large ride vehicles all over the place. If you look at F, you have seen the picture of the Massive Children Hospital.
The Mohammed Baba Memorial Foundation held a 2-day free cervical cancer screening event for women aged 15 to 44 at the Primary Healthcare Center in Idu, Abuja, as part of an incredible effort to increase awareness and fight cervical cancer. In honor of her late brother, Aisha Mohammed founded the foundation with the aim of giving people in the community convenient access to life-saving medical care. Aisha, speaking during the screening exercise, disclosed that the foundation is taking the first step toward reducing the number of cases of cervical cancer, which can often be prevented with early detection.
It would be nice if the government puts in more effort. The NGO can only do little, but with the backing from the federal government, it will be able to reach a larger number of women, most especially the women in the rural areas, which was our target in this outreach. We found out that the women there did not even know what cervical cancer was. Like they had never heard about it. Hence the reason there was sensitization. It was like teaching them. So we took the time to educate them on what cervical cancer is before doing the free screenings.
This is where you can detect early changes that may lead to cancer. So if the women get informed, they know that they ought to screen to check for changes in their cervix that will lead to cancer. It will go a long way in kicking out this menace called cervical cancer, because cervical cancer is one of the cancers that can be treated if detected early. And that is why we keep saying early detection saves lives, and every woman's life counts. We ought not to be victims of this cervical cancer disease.
The main causative agent for cervical cancer is the infection with human papilloma virus, and this is usually sexually transmitted. We advise people to carry their children for vaccination when they are about between 9 to 14 years. Then when they are sexually active, they should come for screening, and for other behavioral practices, they should use condoms, and also abstain if there's need for that, and stay faithful to one individual. Other behavioral practices that could help the progression of cervical cancer could include abstinence from smoking, eating good food, and carrying out exercises.
We'll take a break here. Coming up on News Now, 4 Israeli soldiers and 200 Palestinians released in Gaza ceasefire deal. Stay with us for details. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. Bandits have reportedly abducted 22 locals in fresh separate attacks in Kauru local government area of Kaduna State. According to reports, the assailants invaded the two communities in separate attacks on Friday at about 10:30 p.m., kidnapping 22 locals, mostly women and children. We also informed you that the impeached Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, has described the corruption allegations against him as fictitious and unsubstantiated. Speaking during a welcome rally at his residence in GRA Ikeja on Saturday, Obasa maintained that he was not afraid of being impeached, but emphasized that due process was not followed. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and Avio TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And on business, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has announced the suspension of all access gate fees at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. A statement issued by FAN on Saturday explained that this decision was made to ease the traffic burden on airport road users, adding that the suspension will be in effect from January 24, 2025 to February 7, 2025. The statement also expressed regret for any inconvenience caused by ongoing construction, reassuring the public of their commitment to ensuring a smoother travel experience for all road users. And the Senate has recommended a capital budget of 539 billion naira for the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development in the 2025 appropriation bill, significantly increasing the initial 9 billion naira proposed by the executive. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals Development, Samson Ekong, revealed this during the presentation of his committee's report to the Senate Committee on Appropriation, where he explained the recommendation is necessary to harness the potential of Nigeria's solid mineral sector. TV360's correspondent Folashade Olusegun files the report from Abuja.
A capital budget of around 539 billion naira has been recommended for the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development during the Senate Committee presentation of the 2025 appropriation bill. Despite just receiving a small amount last year, the ministry made 37 billion naira, according to the minister's statement, highlighting its potential if given enough funding.
Solid minerals would offer that major pathway for us to diversify and fund the economy. And there are signs that this can be done. In fact, in the course of our interface, we were assured that with 10 billion injected, an agency can give us, I think, 20 trillion in 2 years.
As long as we're not willing to fund that sector, we are not going to get away from oil. And it is critical that we do so because we need to diversify our economy. Solid minerals, tourism, agriculture, those are the places where they are the low-hanging fruits. In a year or two, we will start reaping the benefits.
Chairman of the Senate Committee on Interior and a member of the Appropriation Committee emphasized that funding alone will not yield results unless the issue of illegal mining was decisively addressed.
As such, I think it behoves on the committee to have a look at your request for onward transmission to the leadership and then convince the leadership of the National Assembly for additional appropriation to the solid mineral subsector in view of the very pivotal role they play in our march towards the diversification of our economy.
My position is that we shouldn't, as senators, be lamenting. As senators, we should fix the problem. We should tell the executive, you must deploy exactly the same force that you deploy against illegal oil bunkering. That same force should be deployed to deal with criminals who are money. When I say criminal, it can be a retired general, it can be a retired permanent secretary, it can be a retired trade unionist or a retired labor leader. Whoever is involved, they should be dealt with. Let Nigeria see that we are not condoning this.
The lawmaker explained that the decision to increase the ministry budget to 539 billion naira was reached after several engagements with the Minister of Budget and other stakeholders, stating that although the sum is still minimal in comparison to what other nations invest in related fields, but it is a step in the right direction.
And on the foreign scene, the United States, the world's biggest donor, have frozen virtually all foreign aid on Friday, making exceptions only for emergency food and military funding for Israel and Egypt. Secretary of State Marco Rubio sent an internal memo days after President Donald Trump took office, vowing an America First policy of tightly restricting assistance overseas. The sweeping order appears to affect everything from development assistance to military aid, including to Ukraine, which received billions of dollars in weapons under Trump's predecessor Joe Biden as it tries to repel a Russian invasion. And still on the foreign scene, Hamas has released 4 female Israeli soldiers held in Gaza as part of the ceasefire agreement with Israel, handing them over to the International Committee of the Red Cross officials in Palestine Square in Gaza City. Israel also says 200 Palestinians were released from its jails within the scope of the second exchange with Hamas under the deal sealed earlier in the month. Ahead of the release in Gaza, scores of masked Hamas and Islamic Jihad fighters gathered at the square, where a large crowd of Palestinians also congregated. And on sports, Victor Boniface has put pen to paper on a new one-year contract at Bundesliga champions Bayer Leverkusen. The forward's contract with Dier Welskef will now expire in June 2029, according to transfer experts. The Nigeria international, who joined Bayer Leverkusen from Belgian Pro League outfit Union Saint-Gilloise in 2023, won the Bundesliga title and DFB Pokal with the club last season. He has scored 22 goals in 33 appearances for Leverkusen. And Henry Burnett achieved something Roger Federer failed to do by winning the Australian Open Boys title on Saturday, with the young Swiss using comparisons to his illustrious compatriot as motivation. Burnett beat American Benjamin Wilworth 6-3, 6-4 on his 18th birthday to join the likes of Alexander Zverev, Nick Kyrgios and Gael Monfils in lifting the Melbourne Trophy. While Federer won 6 Australian Opens among his 20 Grand Slam titles, the junior crown was never among his silverware. And that is our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I am Joy Ucheje. See you next time.